All right, so you're thinking about jumping into the world of English. Buckle up,
Mm.
because we're going to take a deep dive into why that's a seriously awesome idea. We've got all the info here, and let me tell you, it's not just about boring grammar rules and verb conjugations, although, hey, those can be fun in their own little way too, right?
Right.
We've got an awesome overview here highlighting all the benefits of learning English, from talking to people all over the world to even just growing as a person. Let's break it down.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, so first things first, English is like the language of the planet these days. We hear that everywhere, but like, what does that really even mean?
Well, it's really interesting how English kind of became like the go-to language for everyone around the world, like from business deals to like scientists working together.
Right.
It's kind of crazy to think about. Like
Yeah.
even huge problems like climate change, they need like every country to work together. And a lot of times they use English to make that happen.
So it's not just about like getting ahead yourself. It's about working together on those big, giant problems that everyone's got to deal with.
Exactly. And, because English is so important in science and tech, a lot of the really groundbreaking research ends up getting published in English first. So if you want to be in the loop and like know what's up, you got to be able to understand all that.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
Our notes also talk about how knowing English can help you get a better job.
Yeah.
I think we all kind of figure that's important, but like, how much of a difference are we really talking here?
Well, there's actual studies out there that show people who speak multiple languages, especially if they're good at English, tend to make way more money than folks who only speak one language.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about like a couple extra bucks here and there. It can be a huge difference over your whole career.
Well, okay, that's a pretty good reason right there.
Yeah.
And this applies to all kinds of jobs, right? Like,
Mhm.
it's not just for big corporate types.
Totally. Whether you're freelancing, running your own business, or even like if you're an artist, being able to talk to people all over the world in English opens up so many more opportunities.
Okay, but let's be real for a second. Sometimes the coolest stuff isn't about work, you know? What about learning just for the sake of learning and exploring new things?
Oh man, that's where it gets really exciting. Imagine like this giant library with millions of books, research papers, documentaries, online courses, all in English. I mean, it can be a little overwhelming how much stuff is out there, but it also means you can dive deep into pretty much anything that interests you.
So it's not just about like reading a news article or watching a movie. It's like unlocking a whole secret level of knowledge and going after those super specific things you're interested in. I never even thought of it that way.
Yeah, and speaking of movies and music, English also lets you experience all that art and culture in its original form. Think about your favorite band or that writer you love. Sometimes when you translate stuff, it loses a little bit of the original meaning.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I've totally had those moments where a translated song there just doesn't hit the same way as the original.
Exactly.
Okay, so we talked about work knowledge culture.
Yeah.
What about travel? I mean, everyone knows you need to know a little English to get around, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely survive with phrases like, where's the bathroom?
Uh-huh.
But imagine being able to have actual conversations with the locals and really getting to know their culture. You can't really do that unless you're fluent.
Oh, man. You know what? This reminds me of that one time I was in rural China and I tried to order vegetarian food using only a translation app.
Oh, no.
Let's just say the results were interesting.
Yeah, I mean, technology can be helpful, but, really being fluent means you can handle those unexpected situations and connect with people in a deeper way.
Right.
And this leads to another big thing. English is like super connected to innovation, especially when it comes to technology.
So we're talking about more than just reading tech articles here.
Way more, yeah, like a huge chunk of scientific research, especially in cutting edge fields like artificial intelligence and biotechnology. It's all published in English. If you want to be on top of your game in those areas, you've got to be able to understand all that research.
It's like being part of the conversation and maybe even helping to create the next big thing.
Yeah.
I love that. So learning a new language, especially one as tough as English, that's got to be good for your brain, right?
Absolutely. Research shows that being bilingual can actually make your brain work better in a lot of ways, like
All right.
remembering things, problem solving, and even multitasking. It's kind of like a mental workout that makes your brain stronger.
So it's not just learning a new skill, it's like upgrading your mental abilities in a way that helps you in all parts of your life.
Exactly. And even beyond all the brain stuff, there's also all the social and cultural stuff that comes with being able to connect with people from all over the world. Think about the new friends you can make, the projects you can work on together, the different ways of seeing the world you can learn about. It just opens up your world in a way that not many other things can.
It's honestly pretty amazing how much one language can do for you, both personally and professionally.
For sure. In a world where everyone's so connected, being fluent in English isn't just a bonus. It's like the key to unlocking your full potential.
So there you have it. Learning English isn't just about adding another language to your list. It's about giving yourself the power to understand this crazy world, connect with awesome people, and contribute to something bigger than yourself.
The big question is, what will you do with all this? What doors will you open? That's something to really think about.